Kamala Harris did this 2-hour interview with some guy I never heard of, in which she went hard after Joe Biden. She also made a video for Yes on 50, and she did a Jon Stewart interview. Again, we can't show it to y'all, but let's show you some, and then we'll talk about it. Here's Kamala Harris. Where's the Yes on 50? Number 25, please.
I just filled out my ballot. I voted yes for Prop 50 because Donald Trump and the Republicans are trying to rig the system. They're trying to do it in many ways, including rig the system around congressional maps. And so we as Californians are standing up to level the playing field. And we're doing that by voting yes on Prop 50. The election is Tuesday, November 4th. Please vote. It's just one thing on the ballot, and California is going to make the difference for so many people around the country. Remember to vote yes on Prop 50 on Tuesday. See you out there.
Yeah, remember yesterday on the show we showed you the closing ad for TV and digital for Prop 50 with like a dozen different Democrats. Inexplicably, she was not in it, so she made her own. Here's a couple of sound bites from her interview with Jon Stewart, in which he was not as hard as he might have been. But there are some. That's all right. There are some eye rolls. Play 6 and 11 back to back, please.
Fucking kidding me. This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now. Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
Right. I think she would have won if she shed this, know.
Yeah.
I believe he was fully
Where was this woman?
Serve.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
That surprises me, actually.
No, I do. There's a distinction to be made between running for president and being president.
What's the distinction?
Well, being a candidate for president of the United States is about being in a marathon at a sprinter's pace, having tomatoes thrown at you every step you take.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's more than a notion.
Get involved in public service, ladies and gentlemen.
And to be the seated president, the sitting president, while doing that, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I think it's a hard case to make for people that he didn't have the stamina to run, but he had the stamina to govern. Because I think most people view the presidency as a marathon run at a sprint with tomatoes being thrown at you in terms of governance. So I think that drawing that distinction. And again, I recognize the incredibly difficult place you are in with that.
So again, this position that, well, running for president, you can do that with mental decline, but being president, you can do that with mental decline, but running for president, that requires someone at the top of their game. There's actually some truth to that. Because of course, if you're president, you're cloistered and sequestered, and you have a massive staff and you don't really have to go anywhere, but probably not doing the job as well as the American people would like you to do. My reported monologue on Next Up, which is now available on YouTube and as a podcast, I run through all the latest revelations. White House spokesman Ian Sams saying, despite having said we saw the president every day, he's at the top of his game, now says to the House committee he met with the president twice, not really in a position to testify about the president's cognability. And then the White House chief of staff saying he felt Biden shouldn't run for re-election after the debate. As did Tony Blinken, as did Jake Sullivan. These are extraordinary revelations, and they're barely being covered. Mark's publications covered them. Politico said the report was a dud, and the Washington Post and New York Times hasn't covered it at all. So in my reported monologue, I run through the latest revelations, what Kamala Harris has said, what Karine Jean-Pierre said, and once again, Jake Tapper said the original sin was Biden choosing to run for re-election. No, the original sin was the attempted cover-up. It's not a cover-up. They could no more have covered up Biden's cognitive decline than the Trump administration could cover up that Marco Rubio has good hair. It's right before our eyes. Anyway, watch that if you want. Kamala Harris said in this 2-hour interview that she did with some British guy that the voting age should be reduced to 16. I'm not sure why she said that. She also said, she said a lot of stuff. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Gentlemen, Matt, you first. Thoughts on the current place in the American psyche of Kamala Devi Harris?
Well, okay, so there was one clip from her interview. I don't know if it was the one with the gentleman you were talking about or with another one with a British woman where she was asked a question about Biden and, if she was willing to
Like,
criticize him or not.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
called it a world-class
Yeah,
dodge and
that's
said,
that.
get back
I
to the
think
question.
I think she said world class pivot. She's Australian, and I play that on
Oh,
next up.
Australian. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right.
Apologies.
Sounds
But
a
yeah.
lot like British. Sounds a lot like British.
Offsides, Matt.
Yeah, exactly,
Offsides.
exactly.
But what I love about that is right
Encroachment.
after she called her out for it, Kamala Harris made news because she actually answered the questions, engaged, criticized Biden, and created some new tape. And I think that like if 60 Minutes and others had that same tact of saying, no, we're not going to let you filibuster for 25 minutes on an answer. We want you to actually answer the question we asked. They might have been able to make more news back at the time. But I do
Yep.
think, as she gets into Prop 50, Prop 50 is such a fascinating fight. They just put out a new ad featuring AOC, Jasmine
Yeah.
Crockett, Chris
Yeah.
Murphy. It is a
we-
base
we-
driving
Yeah,
to the max campaign.
We showed it here last night. Barack Obama's in it too. Mark, what role is Kamala Harris playing in our life these days with those interviews?
Yeah, I mean, she's giving us something to talk about. I mean, I think the Kamala Harris we see now is a better figure than we saw on the campaign trail. And this is one of the things that's sort of dogged her was an authenticity issue. I think the Kamala Harris is like, hey, why don't you pick up a fucking hammer? Like,
Yeah.
that person's a little
Yeah.
more engaging.
But
Where was she?
She's still not telling the truth about Biden's cognitive decline. And
Sure.
that will,
Oh, well,
that will,
you know,
that will,
I mean,
that
not
will haunt-
telling
that,
it.
that will
If
haunt
we're
her.
passing out, yeah, I mean, if we're passing out demerits for not telling the truth, considering the current occupant of the White House, it's
No,
to paraphrase Apocalypse
Yeah.
Now. That's like passing out speeding tickets at the IndyCar 500.
There you
So-
go. Cozy Earth makes clothes viscous from bamboo, very comfortable, moisture wicking, magically keeps you warm when you are cold and cold when you cool you down when you're warm, temperature regulating. The bamboo sheets are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had. I recommend those, as you probably know, as well as the latest edition, the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. Luxurious combination of comfort and style. Recommend that. And then, of course, there are the shirts, the pants. The pants, once again, today happens not every day, but quite often. Someone texted me and said, Mark, I'm wearing the pants right now, and they look spectacular, and I look very good, but I feel very good. And then I always think of the Billy Joel line from Saturday Night Live: "It's better to look good, my friend, than to feel good." But with the pants from Cozy Earth, you don't need to choose. Go to CozyEarth.com, use my code 2way, 20% off for the best pants, joggers, shirts, everything. You get to at the end when you're buying something, they'll say, "Where did you hear about us?" Say, you heard about them right here on Two-Way. Home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.